Episode 571.
Grenade.
Chen Guo didn't have time to process her shock. Ye Shu had already called out again, and she hurriedly performed another grenade maneuver. Ye Shu used his left hand to steer Chen Guo's mouse, turning and tossing the grenade. Chen Guo couldn't see anything on her own screen, but she could see the results of the attack she'd made with her chasing haze on Ye Shu's monitor. The piercing shot exploded, scattering 8 missiles like a shower of celestial flowers. Lord Grimm was surrounded by blossoming explosions, but since he was in the same party as Chasing Haze, the attacks were exempted. Even if all 8 missiles had detonated right on his head, it wouldn't have mattered in the slightest. As for where that grenade actually landed, Shen Guo couldn't find it, because Ye Shu's perspective didn't bother tracking its descent any further. Ye Shu's left hand returned to his keyboard. His right hand snatched back the mouse and began to dance across it. The battle raged on, the screen shifting and changing without pause. Chen Guo could only stare, utterly clueless about what was happening. He wasn't even sure if he should put his right hand back on the mouse. Chen Guo had seen one person operating 2 machines before, but the average player would just use the second character to leech experience. Yet here was Ye Shu, controlling a second character and fully integrating it into a coordinated combat flow. While Chen Guo was the one executing the skills, the timing and precision of those attacks were all in the hands of Ye Shu's mouse-controlling left hand. Honestly, it all happened so fast, and Chen Guo was so stunned, she didn't really get a clear look at whether Ye Shu's left hand was moving the mouse smoothly or accurately. But the chance to observe came again soon enough. Chen Guo didn't know how the fight was going over there, but she saw Ye Shu's left hand reach over once more and grab her mouse.
Satellite ray.
This time, Ye Shu had called for the launcher's ultimate skill. Chen Guo didn't hesitate. She was, of course, already extremely proficient with the execution of these abilities. The instant it was done, Ye Shu used his mouse to control the view and targeting. Slowly, so slowly that Chen Guo couldn't tell for a moment whether it was his left hand being unskilled and slow, or if he was deliberately waiting for some kind of opening. Chen Guo only knew that the enemy's attacks below hadn't let up for a second. Meanwhile, Ye Shu's right hand on the keyboard was flying in a frantic dance. What truly shocked her was that after that flurry of movement, his right hand actually grabbed the mouse and gave it a flick, clearly executing a skill. Pulling off a 2-handed maneuver with just one hand, that says everything about how rushed he was. In such a rush, Chen Guo was genuinely eager to see the effect of this skill. But the dizzying perspective shifts on Ye Shu's screen left Chen Guo utterly bewildered. Right at that moment, Chen Guo saw that the satellite ray, which had finished its preparation but hadn't been released, was already at its final time limit. If he didn't act now, this skill would be wasted for nothing. She was just about to speak up and remind him when, on the screen, the mouse cursor, which had been moving so sluggishly it seemed almost stationary, suddenly zipped forward and came to a perfectly steady stop on a single spot.
A soft click, and the clouds in the sky seemed to bloom. A beam of light descended from the heavens, landing precisely on the spot Ye Shu had clicked.
Shen Guo immediately shifted her gaze back to Ye Shu's screen. This time, she finally saw it clearly. That satellite beam had struck one of the opponents with overwhelming force, completely enveloping the target in its light. Shen Guo couldn't even make out which character had been blasted. The main beam spun, splitting into 6 smaller rays that forced the other 2 characters to dodge frantically. The entire area was instantly blasted into a storm of flying sand and shattered stone, a sight that had Chen Guo practically vibrating with excitement just from watching.
Heat-seeking missile.
Upon hearing Ye Shu's single command, Chen Guo immediately executed the maneuver. This time, Ye Shu didn't wait around for the perfect moment either. With a click of his mouse, Chasing Haze's lighter shot out in a straight line. Chen Guo's heart leapt into her throat. The lighter flew straight out, but it quickly began to drop. From her perspective, it looked like it wouldn't even clear the edge of the boulder before hitting the ground. If that happened, the missile might just explode up here, and the characters below would be completely unaffected. Yet the lighter's descending arc just barely skimmed the edge of the boulder, vanishing from Chen Guo's sight. Chen Guo immediately turned to look at Ye Shu's screen instead, but she didn't spot the missile there either. Ye Shu was already charging forward, ruthlessly focusing fire on the guy who'd been blasted half to pieces by the satellite ray. Chen Guo's chasing haze, in terms of gear, couldn't be called the absolute top tier among regular players, but it was definitely considered high-end. The three excellent era characters' gear was only on par with chasing hazes. Taking a direct hit from a launcher's ultimate satellite ray must have stung like hell. Now that Ye Shu's Lord Grimm had closed in and launched a flurry of attacks, they must have taken a significant beating. Chen Guo finally got a clear look at the character. It was the sharpshooter from the trio. Unlike the launcher, the sharpshooter isn't a purely long-range class. Beyond their marksmanship, sharpshooters also possess a set of close combat skills, all of which use the legs as their primary weapon. Among sharpshooter build strategies, there's always been a school of thought that heavily relies on these close combat techniques. Even those who focus primarily on marksmanship usually pick up a few of these skills, just in case. Like being cornered by an opponent, for instance. But at this moment, the sharpshooter's legs felt as if they were weighed down with lead, refusing to lift. Under Lord Grimm's relentless assault, not a shred of his close combat style's former brilliance remained. For a pro player, being suppressed to this extent is downright embarrassing. A thunderous crash echoed as Lord Grimm unleashed a falling flower palm. The sharpshooter spun like a top, slammed into the boulder, and was sent rebounding back. Ye Shu's move had already been executed. A simple upward slash caught the sharpshooter, followed by a dazzling flurry of attacks, pinning him against the boulder as if glued there, unable to move. In no time at all, a flash of white light signaled his defeat.
Nice shot.
Chen Guo cried out in delight, but to be honest, how had this guy gone from being a pursuer to being a victim, pinned to the boulder by Ye Shu? Chen Guo couldn't see it very clearly,